Oh, so I'm watching Only Murders in the Building. I think you all know. My faithful listeners there know that I am a girl's girl. After Trump is gone, which hopefully will not be much longer now, um, and I know some of you will be offended that I say that, but yeah, he's on his. I think he's on his last legs, and the world will be better for it. And I'm not sorry. Good morning, everyone. I'm here with my first cup of coffee. Ambrosia. Today is Tuesday, 11/11. How are you? This is me. I feel like I'm coming in late to our coffee date and just slurping coffee and staring at you. I'm actually fine. Let's see. Where did we last leave our heroine? The Friday podcast. I think I caught you all up on everything. Um, I am working on the Among the Thorns edits. I am at peace with having to push off Magic Reborn yet again. You may not be as at peace with it, but so it goes. Oh, really good news on the audiobook front. The long delayed audiobook for Strange Familiar on YouTube. For those of you who listen to my audiobooks free on YouTube for that series, I finally compiled it yesterday. So the thing is this is not a super straightforward dump it on YouTube and salute and have done. It's okay. I'm going to go into the weeds here just because I know some of you have been asking me, why haven't I done this yet? I know the book's been out forever. It all had to do with the laptop exchange. That was one of the reasons, anyway. So the book released on Audible on June 5th. Astute listeners will recall was like right before book tour for Never the Roses. So when you do the audiobooks, your narrator delivers it to you when you do it, Indy, chapter by chapter. And so it's a pain to upload to the retailers. It's not horrible, but it's also a not inconsiderable investment of time and energy. In order to put it on YouTube, and I learned how to do this from Lindsay Baroker. When I said, well, I was putting it on the retailers first, somebody said, well, aren't you monetized by now? And it's like, yes, mea culpa. This has been floating down my to-do list. What I do is I use a program called Wondershare Filmora, which I import all the chapters to that, save the project, and then export it to Dropbox. The thing is these files are freaking enormous. And to do this, I have to have enough room on my hard drive. And with the old laptop, I did not. And so every time I was doing this, I was having to reinstall Wondershare Filmora because it takes up so much space. And then I would have to do multiple attempts to try to do this to see if I had enough room, even though I was looking at properties on my C drive and everything. It would not be, it would take up more space than it said it needed. I don't know. It's just a trial to do. And I would have to delete other files, which is fine, but it was just a pain, just a pain. So I was waiting to transfer laptops. You know that I finally transferred laptops, got the new laptop set up, but I only did this a couple of weeks ago, and I'm still having to go back to the old laptop to do my mom's finances because it wants me to do the confirm to her cell phone code for one of her bank accounts, and she gets upset now when I ask her about it. I mean, it's good. Security is good. Security is a great thing. The TLDR, which it's way too late for that, is that yesterday I installed Wondershare Filmora. It was actually really nice to have no hiccups. I saved the project. It's exported. I didn't have to go through any hoops or deletions. And so, hooray, new laptop. Hooray, fresh memory. And so today I will almost certainly probably upload it to YouTube. It takes hours to do. So anyway, that's coming just in time for the end of Magic Reborn. So I think it's funny because I just looked on Audible to see what that release date was, and I saw the review. It's a 1-star review for Strange Familiar, saying what happened to Elise, that the person liked her in previous books, but now she's turned into a malleable nitwit, and she hated her, or they hated her, and hated this book. 1 star. 4 for performance, 1 star for story. Sorry. Yeah, I've talked about this, right? People don't always like it when their characters screw up. And yes, Elise goes through some really difficult stuff in Strange Familiar. I don't know what to tell you. Was she malleable? She's not a nitwit. Um, she sacrifices herself to save her niece, and she gets sucked into her uh, malevolent narcissist of a father's manipulations. Is she malleable? By the way, they spelled malleable wrong, but that would be petty of me to point out. I don't think she was. I think she tries to go along with the program for a while, and there are reasons for that. I don't know what else to say. It's a thing that I bring up a lot, right? Because sometimes my characters are flawed and they screwed up and they are susceptible to things like manipulation. And it's so funny because, like, I was looking at the photos of um, the Great Gatsby party on Halloween at Mar-a-Lago. Did you all look at these? I think you all know. My faithful listeners there know that I am a girl's girl. I think whatever you want to do to make yourself look pretty, do it. I know plenty of people who have had work done, as they say. I myself have not, other than like braces and all of that kind of thing when I was young. And I am not saying that I won't ever get work done. I think I told you all on the podcast the story of the woman in Hawaii who said, congratulated me for being such a successful, accomplished woman who didn't feel like she needed Botox. And I was like, do I? Do I need Botox? And if you're on video, it's like, here, should we turn up the ring light really, really bright? And like, do I need Botox? I thought I was fascinated that she could look at me and see that I'd never had Botox. Yeah, I think at some point, if I feel like I need it, but so far I'm pretty happy with how I look. Maybe I would get something done at some point. Who knows? But if you look at these photos from Mar-a-Lago, who is it, Lauren Boebert, who is only like 35 and has had all of this work done. And it's very similar. Like, she used to be a quite attractive woman, like conventional standards. You wouldn't, you might think she was pretty if you passed her on the street. And then she had all this work done, the same kind of thing, with this weird emphasis on the eyes, on the cheekbones, on the plumped up lips. And I was sharing this with a friend of mine who commented that it's really interesting to see this very particular physical type being associated with a certain kind of ideology. And, I really do blame the cult thing. That I wonder, like, once his influence has passed, will they look at themselves in these photos and wonder, what were they thinking? What were they trying to do? What were they trying to look like? It's just really strange to me. Um, and equally strange, I was watching the 5th season of Only Murders in the Building. I actually finished it last night. I didn't think it was a great season, but I thought it was a good season. I enjoyed it. I think Beanie Feldstein is great and looks just like my agent Sarah. So I told Sarah she needs to watch it. And she said I'm not the first person to tell her this. Oh, so I'm watching Only Murders in the Building, and there's this character in it, a rich white woman character. And I'm thinking, that actress looks really familiar. Who is that actress? So I looked it up, and folks, it was Renee Zellweger, but it was an unrecognizable Renee Zellweger. Like she has had recognizable Botox, even to me who like knows nothing about it. Like her face is totally different now. It's like this moon face and doesn't move, right? Doesn't have the character that she used to have. And I sent this to one of my friends and I'm like, what the heck? And I do feel bad being critical because like I get it, and it's hard for women in Hollywood because you have to be super super skinny, which is hard on your face, right? Uh, the French say that as a woman ages, she has to choose between her face and her ass, and I think that's true. If you want a tiny rear end, if you don't want to be heavy, then you have a strained looking face, which ages you. So they Botox it up. And my friend said, "Oh yeah, you should look at Anne Hathaway and Emma Stone. They've done it too." And I went and looked, and yeah, and I think I'm so disappointed because I think Anne Hathaway and Emma Stone are so incredibly freaking gorgeous and have amazing faces, amazing expressive faces, and they've done this. It's somebody had quipped in one of these articles that they all have the same plastic surgeon on speed dial because they are all. It's back to the same thing. This ideology. This they look like they're walking around with Instagram filters on their faces, and I guess that's what they want. It's what they all start thinking they need to do. So I thought that we were allowing women to age in Hollywood and um, to look like the age that they are. And that's kind of how I feel with myself. I mean, I know that I'm very fortunate to have youthful genes in my family and I look younger than my actual age, but also I'm fine with how I look. And I think it's just really kind of sad that these gals are not. Um, and I really hate these pressures that are making them distort themselves, create this dysmorphia um, to meet some kind of ideal. Update on Among the Thorns is I've actually finished all of the inline edits. I'm much less stressed now that I decided just to take as long as it takes to get this done. I have to do a little bit of weaving, some things where they said, like, can we have this mentioned earlier, that sort of thing. So now I have hidden all track changes and reading through and I think I'll probably be done maybe tomorrow. And if not, I'm fine. But it's going pretty well now, and much less panic. Set up the pre-orders for Love Lies and Ley Lines. I'm brainstorming titles with Sarah this afternoon, so I will set up the pre-orders for books 2 and 3 before I push the release date for Magic Reborn. I found out that I can. It'll be December. It won't be very long. Sorry. And then I'll lose my pre-order privileges for a year. Maybe I can appeal them, but we'll see. I want to get those 3 books up for pre-order first, and I will hopefully make those dates. I want to say I'm definitely going to. Book 1, I will because it's done. Sarah is having the interns proof it right now. We're going to see about selling the audio rights for it. I'm working on a series title. I'm thinking Goldilocks and the Bandit, Goldie and the Bandit, the Pixie Dust Bandits, the Fae Bandits. Let me know your votes. Would love to hear what you think it should be. And soon we'll have a cover and I'll have that pre-order link up. I think I am shooting for January 20th for the release of that book. Uh, it's somewhat arbitrary, but that seems like a good date. It's sort of like after we've gotten past the doldrums of January when nobody feels like they have any money, but you might still have Kindle credits from the holidays. So let me know if you prefer a different date, but I think that's what we're shooting for. I hope you all have a productive week. I hope you are happy with how you look and that you are embracing where you are in your life because it's important. I saw a fitness influencer the other day quote a woman who said that she's not training for her summer body, that she's training for her old lady body. And I thought, wow, that's a great line. And yeah, be strong in our age, whatever it is. All right. I will talk to you all on Friday. You all take care. Bye bye.